Indianapolis Raceway Park gave us a show last week with chaos, crashes, and a major disqualification for Kieren Liflander. With move over at Speedy Time sweeping both futures and lights last week, with Caplinger and Bryan Sawyer respectively, many teams will look to turn their season around here at the Virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway in Charlotte, North Carolina. Will we see a calmer race, or will these drivers be as hungry and aggressive as they were last week? Stay tuned for the fourth round of the NASA Rallycross Season 24B calendar. Our venue for this evening is the Virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway. Opened in 1960, North American Simulated Auto Racing has been visiting this circuit in various layouts since 2012B. The modern era layout of the Rallycross layout is 0.83 miles and is known for requiring precision as walls surround you at every moment. Turn 1 will be a pain point as well, because In-Sim Spotter will incorrectly call cars around our drivers, potentially causing some incidents. In NASA Rallycross, our format is as follows. We are finishing open practice now, which leads us into a 3-lap single-car qualifying that splits the field equally into 5-lap heat races with the Joker lap taken once. The top 2 will transfer to the feature automatically, with the winner getting 3 bonus points and the runner-up getting 2. The rest of our drivers will be sent to the semifinals, also 5 laps with 1 Joker lap. The top 2 transfer to the feature, and the winners will receive a bonus point. This sets our grid for our 10-lap feature race where points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, 2 Jokers are taken during the feature. Worth noting as well, the top 3 finishers in our Futures feature race will qualify for the Lights race later on this evening. The first season of the NASA Rallycross Futures continues tonight live on the Automotive Sports Network. With Victor Vallee in the production truck, and also next to me in the commentary box, my name is Ethan Halsey, as we welcome you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World Feed was produced by Alex Abedi. With that, let's bring Victor into the booth. Victor, what a wild race we had last week. Do you expect the intensity level to stay as high as it was?
Honestly, I think so, especially in lights. But again, of course, in futures, you do have a lot to race for. Get to race one more time after this if you can. Make it into that podium position. As you see the podium right there. Couldn't do it better if I tried as we move on to qualifying here. And we do have a lot of different names near the top of the pylon here tonight. And if you look at the point standings here, as we're going to go ahead and pull those up. JP DeFino still on top with Eric Caplinger, last week's winner, in second. And Lucas Hill in third. So quite a few different guys up there. Lucas Hill, of course, one of the newcomers up there, along with Zachary Goddard in fifth. Those guys going to be ones to keep an eye on for sure.
Definitely. It's a pretty close race up there at the top between DeFino and Caplinger. And for once, the points work this week, so that's fantastic. We're able to actually show you the point standings. Yes. So far, practice, most all drivers took time. We have 18 cars here tonight, a solid-looking field. 17 took time. Zachary Goddard leading the practice time charts at a 43.713. Very good look for him so far. He was definitely very quick last week, ran into some trouble midway through the race. Definitely has a lot left to be desired there. As currently we are running our lone qualifying, so we have a couple of cars on track. Eric Caplinger has already run a very fast lap, a 44.941. That so far is for pole position. and that immediately gets snatched away by Eric Dubois in the 000, a 44.823. Another driver who ran into some trouble last week, definitely looking to make a big turnaround here.
Certainly so, as we watch take this corner. This is probably the hardest corner on the track right here. You want to try to get it right to that concrete on the right side, and then you got to switch it back. And you got to be right up against that concrete too. It is so tricky and so hard to get right. You want to find the grip, because the grip for this track, it's not equal in those corners. This track ain't built, it's built differently, as they say. So definitely something
and
to
as
look
Dubois
at.
rounds the track here, Victor, why don't we go on board and take us for a lap here around Charlotte Motor
Yeah,
Speedway?
absolutely. Go ahead and watch his laps here. We're going to go over this jump right here. So easy to hit the jump wrong and land crooked or something and go off the course as he goes through that right-hand kink almost. It's actually a pretty good 90-degree corner. As we get back to the corner, I was telling you, it's one of the hardest on the track. Kind of have to get the car right up against that concrete on the left side there, and then you're going to have to go through this carousel-type corner, which leads on to the Joker decision right here. Joker on the left, regular track on the right. Of course, no one's going to use that Joker in qualifying. But back onto the pavement and the rollable section of the track that everybody knows and loves. Through turn 1, which is 2 quick right-handers. And this is already tricky in the pavement. You add dirt to it, and you've got an entire another group of problems right there to have. So
While we were on board with Eric Dubois, Lucas Hill in the 199 managed to take the pole position away, a 44.743. That is a very quick lap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good lap for him so far. Just maybe a little bit shy of what Zachary Goddard ran in practice. We look on your points leader, JP DePino, currently sitting in the 9th position, a 45.236, midway through the field, hoping to get a... Absolutely, hoping to get a quick lap time here to get himself up the board. You can see he is the points leader with the orange plate that he gets to carry on the car, which is pretty cool looking. Zachary Goddard also down the order after being quickest in practice, a 45.166 was the best he could muster, currently in the 7th position.
And just note, JP is done with his laps. This was his, he finished his 3rd lap, the lap before, so that's why he went for the Joker. He's just getting some extra laps in here qualifying right now, trying to sort out the problems he's having, because being all the way down in 9th place right now, that's a way down the order from what we normally see out of JP. So definitely trying to get a little bit more seat time here, trying to figure it out, trying to get back on the pace, about half a second off from your leader Lucas Hill. And again, those guys are teammates, so I'm sure they're probably talking in their Discord about where JP's losing time and everything like that.
And he usually has some solid race pace. He has 2 wins already on the season. Looking for his 3rd. Last week was definitely a result that he wasn't really anticipating, but hoping for a little bit better. Came home in 5th in the feature race last week, so definitely left a little bit to be desired. But you know, JP is very quick. 2 wins already on the season, including one in the light series as well when he swept both races at Sonoma in the first week of the season. So he's definitely got the pace to be able to take it to some of these leaders. His teammate, thankfully, Lucas Hill, topping the charts as we come to the end here of qualifying and we get ready for our first heat. So let's take a look at our starting grid. Lucas Hill will be starting at the top of the order. Klaus Kurtzer right behind him. Zachary Goddard in the 29 behind him. Jake Robichaux in the 69 in 4th. Matty Grove in the 472 in 5th. And Zachary Trevino, a newcomer, rounding out your field. I will show my my torque bias a little bit. Always great to see some of the Torque GT3 drivers coming over to the series. As the green lights go off, we are racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 3 wide entering the first turn here. And look at that, a tight race for that, but Zachary Goddard in the 29 gets the best run on the outside and will plunge to lead. Meanwhile, Lucas Hill, your pole sitter, slides all the way to 4th.
Oh, and he's around.
And he's around into the wall. Trouble for the pole sitter early, and it looks like it'll be a trip to the LCQs for him.
Yeah, and that opens the door for Klaus Kreuzer there in 2nd. as we see a little bit of contact at the back between the two Slaypex cars. I think that was Matty Grove and Jake Robichaux getting into it back there. But we're going to go ahead and keep a look and keep an eye on this battle.
Oh, in trouble!
Yeah, Trevino
Zachary
and
Trevino and Matty Grover around in that dirt turn. You said in the pre-race during the qualifying track map that you said that was one of the toughest turns on the track. It's already claimed 2 drivers tonight.
Absolutely has, and especially in the race like that, you know, I think what might have happened is Trevino might have backed up the corner a little bit more than Matty Grove was expecting there. I know that's happened to me before, and it's so easy to run into your competitor in that corner. I don't think there was anything either driver could do in that situation.
Already an eventful first lap. If this is going to shape up to be like Indianapolis last week, we are in for a show for sure. We're riding along with Klaus Kreutzer here in the 77 as he's chasing down Zachary Goddard in the 29. Kreutzer in the 77 is in the transfer spot currently to make the feature. I believe this would be his first feature of the season. Had a solid speedy run at Iowa. Unfortunately came a little bit short there, ran into trouble in the semifinal and wasn't quite able to make it in. So definitely looking, you know, he's definitely a driver that is hungry this week.
Absolutely, as we see Zachary Goddard go fastest here, put down a purple time. P1 out there right now in that clean air, 45.409. Still
and as you said that, Jake Robichaux followed that up with an even quicker lap, so that did not last long.
Yeah, not at all. Jake Robichaux on his way. He's going to try to go get the 77 here. There's a real possibility. Got our 3 laps here, coming to 2 to go right here. If Klaus makes any kind of mistake, this could be Jake's transfer spot.
Around the final dirt turn. There goes the 69 Robichaux over the curbs. He's definitely losing a little bit of time here to that 77. I think you're right about that, Victor. He's going to have to bank on a mistake from him to try to get himself into the transfer.
Yeah, absolutely, as we have a little bit of a connection issue with one of our drivers there, but back to it. Looks like it's going to be Zachary Goddard out front by a mile right now. But Klaus and Jake, they're running hard right now. They're doing everything. Look at Jake sliding that thing through the corner.
That is a Jake Robichaux line if I've ever seen it. Nose into the wall, sliding around the corner, but he knows how to get around track better than most other guys do.
On the gas.
He will find that line.
We talked about it last week, as he's going to go ahead and take his Joker lap right here, as it looks like. Let's go ahead and pull up our Jokers. None of our top 3 have taken their Jokers except for now Jake Robichaux there. So that might pay dividends for him here.
We're on our final lap here, so Goddard and Kreutzer are going to have to Joker this time by. So we'll see if the strategy will come into play here for Robichaux. It doesn't seem likely given where he was before the Jokers were taken, but hey, you never know. 77's going to go a little wide in that corner, as he's been wide seemingly a couple times, it looks like.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems like that's just the line they're running through there. It seems a little bit backwards to what I would do, but again, it's working for them, as you see Goddard and Kreutzer go for the Joker here. Don't think Robichaux is going to be close enough to take the transfer spot away.
Not quite. Coming around the line, Zachary Goddard will win the first heat race of the night. Klaus Kreutzer will move on to the feature as well. Robichaux, Trevino, Hill, and Grove will be headed to the semifinal. Let's take a look at our grid for heat number 2. There really is no time to rest here in NASA Rallycross. It is go, go, go. Eric Dubois will be starting at the front here in the 000. Ed Boyles will be starting in the second position, the 38. Brandon West in the 888 in third. Joseph Pasucci in the 015 in fourth. Joseph DiGiacomo in the 555 in fifth. And a newcomer, Kieren Milani, in the 16 in sixth. A lot of triple numbers in this race. 000, 888, 555.
Say arguably the biggest numbers you can put on a number plate, so it's pretty kind of.
We are just waiting here for one last car to grid.
Just waiting on Dubois.
There we go. We're going to get ready for the lights to go green here. And we're racing for heat number 2. 3 wide, once again, going into turn 1. Last time Goddard got a great run on that outside. Will Dubois hold on? He will, but he will definitely put a little block there on the 38 of Boyles.
So far, so good. Everyone through cleanly. say, but this is where we had our first trouble right here. As we got
near contact because the 015 of Pasucci and the 888 of West. Pasucci's going to take a look down low.
All better of
Not quite going to be able to get there.
And here comes Milani here, our newcomer, up the inside of Pasucci. Can they get it done? Yeah.
Pasucci in the outside wall, Milani in the inside wall.
Oh, no.
And that'll cause some contact with the 555 of DiGiacomo, who has nowhere to go.
Yeah, what a shame there for DiGiacomo, because he was just minding his own business there. But back up front, it's all Eric Dubois.
Dubois certainly has checked out. It's going to look to be a battle for second between the 38 of Ed Boyles and the 888 of Brandon West.
Oh no!
Oh, Boyles is around, turns himself around. Looks like he hit the very end of that wall there.
So easy to do.
That gives the spot to the 888 of Brandon West, who will be looking to make his first feature event of the season.
Talking about how chaotic the first heat was, this one's no different. As we've already seen, 3 cars backwards on the track at one point or another, as Ed Boyles tries to gather it back up with DiGiacomo in hot pursuit.
He's definitely got some pace, given a little bit of fender damage now. He'll look to probably take some strategy here. Oh, not quite. Gonna keep it rolling for now. It looks like the 888 of Brandon West has taken his joker, so he will be done with strategy. Eric Dubois goes to the top of the speed charts, 45.398, solid lap for the 000, who has been running into seemingly a lot of bad luck this season. Thankfully, when you're that far out in front, bad luck is hard to find.
Bad luck is definitely hard to find when you're in the lead, and that's the best place to be. You know, you're away from all of the trouble in the back there, so that's exactly what Dubois wanted to do, and he's doing exactly what he has to do to make it to the feature tonight.
Now he'll have the opportunity to run his own race, not have anybody else getting involved. You see there the 38 of Ed Boyles, currently in the second spot, given though he does not have his strategy taken yet. He will still have to joker, as the 555 of Joseph DiGiacomo takes his joker.
Oh,
Pasucci in the wall again.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think
that race car looks awfully tight so far tonight. He's gotten to the outside wall a couple times.
Certainly, and I think he was trying to push to catch DiGiacomo there because he knew DiGiacomo was coming out of that joker. He just pushed it a little bit too hard there, unfortunately, for the 015.
Bear in mind, the 38 of Boyles has been kind of extending his gap there on the 888 of West. I'd be curious to see where he comes out in the joker, see if the delta would be enough for him to at least maintain the position, if not be right on his bumper when he comes out.
I don't think it's going to be very close at all, unfortunately, for Boyles here, unless there's a mistake out of the 888. It's about a 4-second delta in the joker. So
oh, and that's not going to help either. He's into the wall again. Once again, tapped the very end of that wall that got him on lap number 2, and it got him again on the final lap.
Looks like West is just going to ride behind him and let Boyles take that joker on the final lap and make it on to the feature. Oh, no.
Oh, and he's going to go around, and thankfully he's going to get out of the way of Brandon West. That was probably just a heart dropper right there for the 888, who nearly just saw his life flash before his eyes.
Yeah, he's let the 555 and 015 go. Good
and with that, the 000 of Eric Dubois will cruise to a second heat win. Brandon West will make his first feature of the season in the 888 as well. Joseph DiGiacomo, Joseph Pasucci, Kieren Milani, and Ed Boyles will be heading to the semifinal.
Yeah, Ed Boyles in a no good, very bad heat race. Hopefully he can find a little bit better luck in the LCQ.
And now let's take a look at our third heat event for the night. Last week's winner, Eric Caplinger, resides here in the 277. He will start at the front. Blake Smith in the 098 in second. JP DeFino, your points leader, will start in third. Chris Lunan in the 86 in fourth. Dylan Babcock in the 257 in fifth. And Stephen Moreau in the 22 in sixth. This is a field full of heavy hitters here. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
Absolutely. Your top two in points right there, ready to get after it.
And that 098 of Blake Smith, who's quick as well. Absolutely. The green lights drop. We are rolling. Someone missed the start there. I think that was the 098 of Blake Smith.
I think it certainly was, yeah. Blake Smith.
And Defino riding around the outside. He will muscle his way around Caplinger. They'll still be side by side here. Caplinger not letting him go.
Yeah, but Defino, big power move. Almost hits the tire barrier on the outside. We saw that.
Here comes Caplinger back to the inside once again. Not going to be enough. Defino clears, and it shows off why he is the points leader.
Yeah, we saw that last heat with Boyle was hitting that tire barrier. So easy to do, and Defino just inches away from hitting it too.
See Caplinger taking that inside line, gonna end up on the outside around here, gonna try a crossover move.
Ooh, way wide for these guys right now.
Bumper to bumper are the top two. Remember, both of those are going on to the transfer.
Looks like we have a driver in the back taking the Joker. I think that
Couple of cars. Dylan Babcock in the 257, Blake Smith in the 098, who curiously must have missed the lights. He was sitting there for a solid 2 seconds on the start there.
Yeah, certainly was.
The top two pulling away a little bit. Chris Lunan in that pink and green car trying to hunt them down to try and gain a little bit of spots up towards the front. Trying to get himself into the feature. And that certainly won't help. He's going to go pretty wide around that corner. Meanwhile, we're going to be nearly side by side again. Both will take their Joker this time by.
That's an interesting strategy.
Ooh,
and
Defino off the curves a little bit.
Yeah, hitting the sleeping policeman there. Upsetting the car. Chris Lunan, your new leader right now, but remember, he still has yet to take his Joker.
Oh, that he did run the fastest lap of the session, a 46.111. A great lap time for the 86. Pedal to the metal for sure to try to get himself in front of those two cars hunting him down behind him.
Yeah, Caplinger hounding the back bumper of JP Defino right now. And if anything happens to these two, if they get into an
Caplinger
accident,
into the inside wall a little bit there.
Yeah, and if these two get in an accident, Dylan Babcock, Blake Smith right there.
Blake Smith in that 098 was very fast last week, ran into some unfortunate luck, as a lot of drivers did. So he's definitely one looking to make up any kind of lost ground. So he is all over the back of that 257 trying to get himself squared away.
Certainly so. Defino right now, your provisional leader after Lunan does Joker. This is basically the battle for the lead. But don't count out Dylan Babcock. He's on his way, and here comes Blake Smith
Babcock
down the
inside.
inside.
Off the jump. It's going to open up the door for the Blake Smith in the 098.
Cut him a break there. Certainly cut him a break for sure.
Definitely got very squirrely off the jump. Almost looked like he jumped off of the jump off to the right-hand side there. Thankfully, was able to corral it back in. Meanwhile, Defino, with 2 laps to go, looking down to the inside of Lunan, although he doesn't need to. Lunan is still going to have to Joker. There he goes.
That's going to release the 845 to push as hard as he can here on the white flag lap.
1 more lap to go in heat number 3.
Oh, Caplinger's hit the inside wall.
Caplinger is around.
Oh, and Lunan's in it,
Lunan
too.
has gone wide. This has opened the door for the 098 of Blake Smith. Blake Smith up to the second position after trouble for second and third.
Oh, and Babcock's going to hit the sleeping policeman right there, too. And
Unbelievable. The driver who missed the start by 2 seconds looks to be on his way to the feature event after mistakes from Babcock off the jump, and then Caplinger and Lunan in turn 1.
Gave him a head start, and he still is going to make the transfer here.
JP Defino will cruise to a win in heat number 3, and in very chaotic fashion, Blake Smith will move on to the feature event. My goodness. Dylan Babcock, Eric Caplinger, Chris Lunan, and Stephen Moreau are now going to have to head on to the semifinal.
Wow. I cannot believe that one bit. Wow. I don't... There's no words. To say your second place driver in points is going to have to make his way to the feature through the LCQ this week.
Yeah, and you know, the semifinals are always very difficult in this series. It is usually a bloodbath. As we get ready for our first of our semifinal, Jake Robichaux will start at the front. Eric Caplinger has a chance to make it in right now in second. Joseph Pasucci in third. Lucas Hill in fourth. Chris Lunan in fifth. And Kieren Milani in sixth. It's like all 6 cars have gridded. Top 2 will make the feature event. as we await the lights to go green for semifinal number 1. We are green. 3 wide into turn 1 once again. Caplinger trying to move down the inside to kind of cut off Robichaux. And it's going to be tight there, but it looks like Caplinger will have the preferred line. Pasucci on the outside trying to make it stick here. He's going to have the good line going into turn 1.
Oh, Robichaux way deep in there. He might...
somehow didn't hit the wall.
Yeah, as Pasucci right on the tailpipe of that 69 car.
And with that, the 277, Eric Caplinger looking to make up for lost time in his heat race. Didn't expect to be racing here about lap 4, but here he is. Hey, great time as well. Same goes for Chris Lunan as well. He was running up there
he could have
as well, and then he hit the outside wall as well.
Yeah.
So he's definitely looking up, to make up some lost time too.
We got Pasucci and Hill taking the Joker right here.
Hill was your pole sitter, ran into trouble on the first lap of his heat race, and he's mired back in traffic. Pasucci, he's going to get into Lucas Hill. Pasucci and Hill go around, and a bad night turns worse for the 199.
Third place driver.
Second place last week.
Yeah, third place driver in points. He's not going to have a chance to improve at all, but second place in points, here he is in the lead of this LCQ.
A great battle here between the 277 of Eric Caplinger and the 69 of Jake Robichaux brewing here. Robichaux opts to Joker here to give himself some clean track space. Probably a smart move from the 69.
We'll see if it does put him in clean track. It will. It's a great move by Robichaux there to have the awareness to do that.
As opposed to being on the back bumper of Caplinger, let him run his own race, let him run his own lines, give himself hopefully a little bit of a faster time than the 277.
Absolutely. Perfect move there for sure. Gosh, I just love the way Jay just slings that car through that corner there. I don't see anyone else do that at all.
We always know Jake Robichaux is the man in this series who almost never gets off the throttle. He's almost always on it, no matter what track we're on, and he's certainly making the use out of it on this track specifically. Seeming as Caplinger takes his Joker. Look at this, we're going to be side by side here almost. Robichaux now right back where he was with 2 laps to go.
Caplinger can't make any mistakes here, and he needs that extra point. He's battling JP DeFino for that points lead, and JP DeFino made it through in that heat already. He's cleared by 3 points already, I believe it is.
Extending the gap there is Caplinger. Giving himself a little bit more breathing room. Robichaux slipping back a little bit. He's going to need a fantastic final lap here if he's going to have anything for the 277.
Certainly going to need that extra point, especially with the 3 points DeFino got in his heat for winning it.
As we go on to our final lap of the race, Caplinger this time will keep it clean, unlike he did in his heat race. Coming around, nearly clipping the inside wall. What an aggressive line to that 277. And the 86 of Chris Lunan sitting back there hoping these two collide.
Still safe though.
As Robichaux takes the Robichaux line through the first of the 2 winding turns there. Don't think he's going to have enough for Caplinger, but that'll be enough to make the feature race.
Certainly so, and barring any incidents here, it is Eric Caplinger's race to lose.
Coming around the final turn, Eric Caplinger will take semifinal number 1 and make up for his lost heat race that he had there in heat 3, and Jake Robichaux will be moving on as well. Chris Lunan, Joe Pasucci, Kaya Milani, and Lucas Hill, unfortunately, will be heading home for the night.
Yeah, Lucas Hill going to finish 6th here. That's going to be the last place points, basically. 17th place
Had
points.
A good battle there with the 16 of Milani as well.
Only 2 points for your 3rd place driver in points. That is crucial in the championship battle here.
Let's take a look at our second semifinal. Joseph DiGiacomo will start at the front of the field. Zachary Trevino in second. JP DeFino. Why is JP DeFino won his heat? Why is he here?
I have.
Well, we have
idea.
JP DeFino in the semifinal.
JP DeFino,
Okay.
Welcome back, I guess.
Welcome back to JP DeFino. Ed Boyles and Matthew Grove as well with Stephen Moreau as we are racing. JP DeFino, who won his heat race but is still racing for some reason, whips around the outside to once again take the lead. I'm not too sure what happened there. I'm not sure if maybe he incurred a penalty. There's a car around in the back.
Oh,
I think that's the 38 of Ed Boyles again.
The no
going around.
Race for him continues. Oh my goodness, and he has already parked that thing. Gotta feel for Ed here.
Take a look at the results here. Indeed, JP DeFino, I believe, had a penalty. He did. So the 257 of Dylan Babcock made the feature event.
So that
a time penalty was incurred for the 845.
Oh my goodness. Well,
so that would explain why he is here and not the 257.
Yeah.
That is a crazy turn of events. So that is, you know who's loving that? The 277 of Eric Caplinger. He is right back in that points thicket as DeFino lost down all the points he would have gotten from winning that heat. And that meant that the 098 of Blake Smith, who missed the start by 2 seconds, won heat number 3.
Yeah. I couldn't write it any better than that. That is insane.
We'll have to take a look at some point and see where that penalty came from. I'd be curious to see where he got the time penalty. Must have been a slowdown at the very end of the race that he wasn't able to serve, possibly.
Very likely. Could have just been a little bit of a corner cut somewhere and just wasn't able to bleed off enough speed and time.
Well, he certainly checked out of the race so far here.
Got
up at the
Moreau
front.
and Trevino, a little bit of contact there as Trevino came out of the Joker, came right into the path of the 22 and 55 here of DiGiacomo. That's
not the best Joker there for Trevino, coming out in traffic. He was sitting in the transfer spot before that.
I think he will be now.
And now puts Matty Grove in the transfer spot. I believe he still has to Joker as well. Meanwhile, Zachary Trevino hemorrhaging time with other drivers racing around him here.
Yeah, behind the 22. That's not what you want to see if you're the 51 here. That's the last thing you want to see. Matty Grove hits the fastest time. Again, another thing you don't want to see. So, looks like a potential transfer position going down the drains here for the 51 Trevino as he tries to go to the inside of Stephen Moreau there. Can't get it done.
The 845 of DeFino has jokered. Now it's just going to be what's going to happen here with the 472 of Matty Grove. As we say, always a driver with better race pace than qualifying speed. He always qualifies at the back, but has tremendous racecraft that always finds him in situations like this, where he can run at the front of the field. As we come to the final lap, he's going to joker on the last lap here. Looks like to me he's going to have enough of a delta to make the feature over the other drivers.
Absolutely. It looks like he's got about a 5-second gap here to Zachary Trevino there in third. I think that's going to be just enough to make it out in front of him by about a second.
Going to have a perfect lap here. Meanwhile, for Trevino, he's going to need to have an even better one. He's going to need to have a rocket ship here and just hope he can catch Grove in a mistake to make a feature in his first race here in NASA Rallycross.
So here we go. Matty Grove got a joker right here. Should give the lead back to JP DeFino.
As we come around the final turn, JP DeFino will win again in the semifinal. Matty Grove will be transferring as well on to the feature event. Zachary Trevino, Stephen Moreau, Joseph DiGiacomo, and Ed Boyles will be heading home for the night. Well, a turn of events that we didn't realize was a turn of events till the start of the heat, with JP DeFino not winning heat number 3 due to a time penalty. He still gets to make the feature. As our drivers will now head into a warm-up, we'll head to warm-up as well. Stay tuned for more action here from Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're so interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds it.
Side between these two in the turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Over the jump to begin the first lap, clog at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. Grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Rally's going to hold the spot.
You're so interesting.
Welcome back, everyone, to Charlotte, North Carolina, as we are getting ready for our feature race for Season 1 of NASA Rallycross Futures. While our drivers are warming up, we'll get a couple of sponsor plugs out of the way. Cameras all season on ASN have been brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Avetti. If you like what you see here on the ASN network, be sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell as well to get notified of all of our future casts. We broadcast live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. If your league is looking for a broadcaster, feel free to check us out at asnTVUSA.com to give us a look, and hopefully we can broadcast your league as well. On that note, we'll take a look at our programming notes as well to show you what we have upcoming for the week. Tomorrow night, Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, the NASA Rallycross Contenders Series Round 4 will be at Charlotte. We'll have Justin Robichaux and Bryan Sawyer in the booth for that one. I will be on the racetrack, and hopefully I won't embarrass myself as much as I did at Indianapolis. The NASA Rallycross Supercars will be this Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. They will be racing at Charlotte as well. You'll have Josh Mertz and Bryan Sawyer for that one. Then me and Victor are back for our Futures and Lights doubleheader. Next week we go to Atlanta. That will be Sunday, September 29th, 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern respectively. And notice down there, the Torque Sports Car Series is back, formerly the OSRL GT3 Series. Round 1 at Daytona will be back on October 3rd at 8:30 Eastern. Very excited for that upcoming season. That is one I race in frequently.
Definitely. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to that. A lot of great new drivers coming in this season.
And I'll be in the production truck, and Josh will be doing commentary with me, so that will be a fun thing to do for sure.
As we watch two cars absolutely bin it going into turn 1, Blake Smith, and I believe that was one of the Slapex cars.
I think it might have been Brandon West, excuse me.
And we still have 3 minutes left of warm-ups, and boy, we had a lot to talk about over our break. One of the big stories that we noticed heading into the semifinal was the presence of JP DeFino. As it turns out, he got a time penalty for jumping the start. Might not have been much, might not have been enough to notice when we were looking at the start previously, but it was just enough to incur a penalty, and boy, that ended up being costly.
It certainly was costly there. That takes the advantage from 3 points for winning the heat to only 1 for winning that LCQ there in that semifinal. So Caplinger and him still neck and neck in points here. No advantage to either driver. Whoever wins tonight between the two, whoever beats each other, that will definitely change the Professional Championship. Only 9 points between them right now.
And now your top 2 in standings are going to be mired back in traffic. Caplinger will be starting 7th, DeFino in 8th. So they're going to have a long way to work to get up to the front of the field. This is going to open the door for drivers like Zachary Goddard and Eric Dubois, who have had solid runs this season, but now are going to get to start 1-2 and have a shot at our top 2 in points.
Yeah, that's the front row start for those guys. And don't count out Blake Smith. He's going to be starting there in that 3rd position. We've seen it time and time again. That 3rd position is pretty gosh darn good on the start. We saw JP DeFino take that to what would have been a heat win, and then he also did it in the OCQ as well, going around the outside, and that's where Blake Smith is going to be, I do believe. So don't count him out at all here as he lays down a insanely quick lap time here, 44.451, about almost half a tenth faster than Zachary Goddard in 2nd.
And as we get ready for warm-up to come to a conclusion, let's get our pre-race predictions out of the way. Victor, who do you think is going to be taking our Futures event here tonight?
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say, well, it's not really a limb because we're already watching him right now. It's going to be Blake Smith. I mean, I think I picked him last week, but I think he's going to get it done this week for sure. Looking really fast, in a good position now with that heat win. As long as he does not miss the start like he did in the heat, I think he has a chance.
I'm going to go out on a limb as well. Eric Dubois has looked pretty quick in practice, pretty quick in qualifying as well. One of the fastest in warm-ups too. So starting from that second position, right in the middle, I'm going to say Eric Dubois is going to get the job done here tonight. With that, let's take a look at your starting lineup. Zachary Goddard will start at the front with Eric Dubois, Blake Smith on the front row, Klaus Kurtzer in the 77, Brandon West in the 888, Dylan Babcock in the 257, making up the row behind them, then Caplinger, DeFino, Robichaux, and Grove rounding out your field. As the cars are getting gridded here, man, look at the size of that field. A beautiful 10-car field here for our feature event. We wait for the lights to drop, and we are green. The Futures feature is underway, and a fantastic start for the 000 of Eric Dubois going into turn 1.
Yeah, great start there. Goddard trying to fight back on the outside.
Look at that thicket in the back of the field.
Yeah, a mess in the back. Caplinger found his way through. He's up to 5th already.
Multiple positions ahead of DeFino there. Babcock into the outside wall and around in the 257.
No, I don't think that was Babcock. Yes, it was Babcock. I'm sorry. There he is in the back here, but back up front, it is all Eric Dubois right now.
Great start for that 000. Dylan Babcock in the wall. He was on the receiving end of that JP DeFino penalty. That's why we didn't see him in the semifinal. He was the one who was able to qualify because of it. Side by side for the final podium spot, it's Blake Smith in the 098, Klaus Kurtzer in the 77. Kurtzer will dive for the Joker to give himself some breathing room. Although, ironically enough, that'll probably make it a little bit worse for him. He's going to get mired in traffic.
Yeah, he's going to be
So
right
does
there.
JP DeFino, your points leader. With how he's running right now, that orange plate might be moving on to somebody else.
Yeah, certainly so. You get 25 points for winning a race. It's 9 for 10th place. And he's right now in 9th place. That only pays out 10 points. As it runs right now with Eric Caplinger there in for 15 points. That's a 5-point swing.
You know, we have a battle for the lead brewing between Dubois and Goddard. They're getting awfully close to each other. Goddard has been closing in on Dubois. Neither will Joker. Goddard's going to stay in his draft, try to see what he does, and try to see where he can pick him off here. So we're going to head on to lap number 3. Dubois solid looking to turn 1 and getting nice down on the inside there.
Goddard dropping that fastest lap there.
Boy, that 29 is quick. Was the fastest in practice at the start of the session. Had a rough qualifying, was able to rebound to win his heat. And now he looks to hunt down the 000. Both heat winners. So whoever wins this race is looking at max points.
Absolutely, max points is exactly what these two need after both of them have had a pretty rough start to the season. Get them back in the championship talks right here with max points if they can do it. As we see Blake Smith in the background jokering here.
Now bear in mind, in the feature race, you do take 2 jokers in NASA Rallycross. So most drivers are not done with their strategy yet. They're going to have to joker again. DeFino is the only one done with his strategy currently.
That's going to open up the books here. And it looks like Brandon West has come out in front of him after completing his strategy. So that throw a wrench into DeFino's race here, with West being able to come out in front of him here.
West will now get the advantage of the clean track that DeFino was looking for. We're watching on in the battle for 4th here.
Yeah.
That is the 098 there. Blake Smith.
He just came out of the Joker last lap, was able to put himself in clean track.
Jake Robichaux jokering this time by. I can't take my eyes off that battle for the lead. Still is brewing. Zachary Goddard is hunting down Eric Dubois, neither of which have jokered yet. So strategy still to take for both of them. If you were in this position here, Victor, if you're Zachary Goddard, I would imagine you would probably be the one to joker first.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you could find that clear open track, it's about a 3-second delta, 3 to 4 second delta here on that Joker. It seems like, from what we can tell, it's very possible that you can make it work where you can slide right in front of Eric Caplinger in 3rd place there, and be okay with that, but it's going to be really tight, and I think what they're doing right now is probably the right move, is just to keep going, keep pushing, try to extend that gap on the 277 and then Joker.
Goddard losing a little bit of time to the 000. Trying to close in. Let's see if we got any other battles happening throughout the field. It's relatively separated around. You do have a battle all the way at the back there. Jake Robichaux and JP DeFino. Very tight in a battle for 8th. And look at that. Almost a little bit of contact as Robichaux came across the nose of DeFino.
Oh, and he's hit the wall.
He's going to hit the wall. DeFino going to give him a little nudge there, a little bit of help. Getting him through the corner.
Kept it going, but DeFino's night not going very well as Brandon West pulling away from these guys. So any chance of points here, big points for JP DeFino going down the drain.
Curiously enough, still no strategy for Eric Dubois or Zachary Goddard or 5th place Matty Grove as well. Both still have to Joker. There's 3 more laps left in this race, so 3 more opportunities they're going to have to Joker here.
Yeah, and while
and it looks like Goddard has dove down for his. So Zachary Goddard will take his first Joker of the race. He's still going to have another one to take as well.
And he's going to come out,
but now he's got clean track
in front of Blake Smith here. So
Blake Smith only on 1 Joker as he's going to get into the inside wall a little bit there. Caplinger in the 277 right behind him. That's the story of the night. A fantastic run for the 277 while DeFino sits mired back in 9th. He's going to be looking to have a solid run here for the points lead after coming into tonight.
Yeah, it's great damage control for both of these guys, you know. More so for Caplinger than DeFino, but still, it's damage control. This is what these guys are running in here, and it's kind of interesting to see how this one's going to all shake out.
Dubois Jokers as well. And he's going to come out with a sizable lead over the 29 as Zachary Goddard, gaining time there. Now bear in mind as well, top 3 drivers in the feature tonight will get to race in the Lights series coming up just after this, the second half of our doubleheader. Blake Smith stands as the last driver moving on to that.
So Caplinger had a great run last week in the Lights race too, so don't count him out of the equation if he can make it into the Lights race. Don't count any of these guys out.
Ooh, Dubois into the inside wall. Look at this. They're going to be right neck and neck there. Goddard almost into the rear of Dubois. Curiously enough, does not Joker that time. They're both going to have to Joker on the final lap. White flag here at Charlotte. We're going to have a duel to the death for the win. Goddard in the 29, looking to hunt down Dubois in the 000. They go over the jump, both clean so far.
Top 3 all have yet to Joker, so they're all taking it on this final lap here, it looks like.
Dubois just needs clean execution here and to not mirror drive with Goddard right behind him.
Don't hit the inside wall, don't run it out too far. I think he's got it.
Dubois clean through the dirt turn. They'll head for their final Joker. Oh, Dubois doesn't Joker!
Dubois misses his second Joker.
Dubois misses his second Joker! A crucial mistake at the end of the race that should hand the win to Zachary Goddard in the 29.
Blake Smith's gonna come home.
Blake Smith will come in second, and Eric Caplinger will come in third. Oh no!
Say we're gonna have to wait here for timing and scoring to update as we wait for Dylan Babcock to finish the race. See
what a heartbreaking way to win the race. A mental error for Eric Dubois, who will slide all the way down to 9th place.
Wow.
What a heartbreaking, gut-wrenching way to lose.
But Zachary
goodness.
Picking up his
and Zachary Goddard is going to get his first win in NASA Rallycross. Wow. Wow.
I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it before in Lights last year. Josh Mertz did it. It wasn't for the win, but it's been done before. It is so easy to forget that second Joker sometimes. And that's so costly.
Absolutely heartbreaking for that 000 who ran the perfect race tonight. Led every single lap, ran up front, kept Zachary Goddard behind him, and just a mental error at the very end of the race slides him from 25 points for first all the way down to ninth.
With 10 points, that's it. Wow.
Oh, heartbreaking indeed.
7th, that's 12 points. Caplinger in 3rd, 17 points. 5-point swing in favor of Caplinger. Looks like DeFino should be able to come out of here with that points lead, barring any kind of penalties.
Yeah, top 3 for Caplinger, who will have once again another opportunity to run in the lights race. And, let's see if we have anyone queued up for interviews. Well, usually we don't get Eric Caplinger up here. We don't have anyone in the media pen just yet.
Waiting for a couple of our guys to make it to the media pen here tonight.
Man, I'm still digesting what we just witnessed. I almost can't believe it.
Yeah, we got guys burning it down out there. I think that's DeFino and one other guy. That's Matty Grove. They're just burning it down because why not? See if we can pull. I don't think we have Blake Smith or anybody here. Yeah, so we got Zachary Goddard in the media pen, so let's bring him up here in just a second here. I'll let you do the interview here.
Zachary, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
Hey.
Wow, what a way to win a race. Running second all night behind the 000 of Dubois, who unfortunately took only one joker instead of 2. A heartbreaking way to lose, but hey, with every mistake comes a benefit to somebody else, and you were the greatest benefactor tonight. Just take me through your race as a whole and overall just your reaction to getting the win at the very last second there.
Honestly, I was pretty content sitting behind him. We both had a pretty good pace going, and I didn't want to try to put a move on him and take us both out. So I was just going to cruise it on in behind him, and I about lost it when I seen him cut right there before the joker because I knew he only took one. I feel so bad for him.
Absolutely. It's a heart-wrenching loss there, but we'll give you your first win in NASA Rallycross. How does it feel to get the gold medal and stay at the top of the podium for the first time in your NASA career?
It feels pretty good, especially after the rough start I've had, not making the main round 1, and just all the issues I've had. Finally had a super clean and good run.
Absolutely. Always great to have a good, clean run after I know you ran into a little trouble last week as well. Victor, you have any questions here for our race winner tonight?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, max points tonight. You got the heat win, and then you also won the feature, so that's maximum points for you. What are you thinking about the championship? Are you thinking about the championship at this point? Are you just driving every race like it's one race at a time?
Pretty much one race at a time, especially after JP's start. I kind of figured he may stay pretty consistent, but it looks like he's had a couple rough weeks, and I may be in the contention there at the end, but for now we're just going to one week at a time.
All right, and then anyone you have to thank for your win here tonight, Zachary?
First of all, the NASA crew for just putting this on, my buddies over at Turtle Motorsport, and the wifey for putting up with a fun, silly hobby like this.
Well, thank you, Zachary. Congratulations on your first win in NASA Rallycross, and well, hopefully we see you up here in an hour or two for the lights as well.
I sadly won't be able to make this one.
Shame, but still a great win. Soak in that win, my man. We will see you hopefully tomorrow for Contenders.
Sure will. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was your race winner, Zachary Goddard. Let's see, I don't believe we have our second place finisher, Blake Smith, here.
I don't see any of those guys. Yeah, of course, we're never going to get Caplinger, unfortunately, but I thought we might have been able to get Smith tonight, but unfortunately it looks like he's already out of the building here, so we will.
And with that, we'll switch on over to our second event in our doubleheader, which will be the lights event. Stay tuned with us. We'll be right back here from Charlotte, North Carolina.
So interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN, safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds
by
it.
side between these two in the turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap clock at the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. From the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. Grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Rocky's going to hold his spot.
You're so...
Welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina, as we head into our fourth race of the NASA Rallycross Lights here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And if the Futures is any indication, this is going to be a bloodbath, as we saw quite a bit of action in our Futures race. Looks like we're just getting started for qualifying now, so just in case you missed it from before, we'll go quickly through our format. In NASA Rallycross, our format is as follows. We are finishing the open practice now, which leads us into our 3-lap single-car qualifying, which has just begun. That splits the field equally into 5-lap heat races, with Joker lap taken only once. The top 2 transfer to the feature automatically. The winner will get 3 bonus points, and the runner-up will get 2. The rest of our drivers will head to the semi-final. Also 5 laps with 1 Joker. The top 2 will transfer the feature, and the winners will receive a bonus point. This will set our grid for our 10-lap feature race, where points are awarded and trophies are handed out. Unique to NASA Rallycross, as Eric Dubois has just learned, 2 Jokers will be taken during the feature. As qualifying is underway, you have Victor Vallee here in the production truck and in the booth with me. My name is Ethan Halsey, as we welcome you back here to Charlotte. Practice was done while we were in commercial break. Kieren Liflander, unsurprisingly, is the fastest in the session, about a second and a half faster than the next fastest driver in Bryan Sawyer. And it looks like he just ran a 43.710, which is still a second and a half faster than anyone else in the session, as he currently sits on the pole. Josh Mertz, a solid lap though, a 45.099, that'll put him in second. Bryan Sawyer in the 88 with a 44.358. Will now slide up, but it's consistently drivers keep moving up past Josh Mertz into second. Victor, after what we saw in the Futures event, you expect lights to be just as feisty?
I think so, especially for second on back. Yeah, absolutely. I think Kieran's going to run away with it like usual, but don't count out anybody for second here. It's always a tight field. Always a tight field. Robbie Kirtley, Bryan Sawyer, Josh Mertz, these guys are not separated by much at all. You know, as Eric Caplinger pops up to 4th place here on our timing and scoring for qualifying. These guys don't get separated by much at all, and you never know who's going to get second place here. Obviously, I think we know who's going to get the win, which is this guy right here, but also an interesting line he's running here, and it makes sense. He's running it very wide on corner exit there in a carousel, where a lot of that pavement's pushed off as he goes for the Joker here on his final lap. I guess he's just perfectly okay with that time he set down on lap 1, or lap 2, excuse me, as he goes for the Joker on his final qualifying lap he could get. So looking at a couple other guys out there, Bryan Sawyer coming to his final qualifying lap, see if he can improve. He does not. But,
and with the DQ that Liflander suffered last week, he's certainly looking to rebound. But that also has an adverse effect of giving Bryan Sawyer the temporary points lead as of now. Currently only a couple of points over the 60 of Devin Hughes for JC Simsport. Dan Corritto, Josh Mertz, and JP DeVino round out the top 5. Liflander, as you can see, all the way down there in the 9th position. He missed our first race at Sonoma, which usually you get a drop week, so you're able to kind of get a break there. But then his DQ at Indianapolis made that situation far worse. He's definitely got a lot to work for if he's going to have to get back up to number 1 in the standings.
Yeah, certainly so. And you see Robbie Kirtley down there in 10th as well. He almost won the first race of the season where we didn't have Josh Mertz and we didn't have Kieren there. So, I say, what could have been for Robbie Kirtley? He could have been up there near Derbyshire, DeFino, and all those guys had the fuel lasted for him.
In case you weren't watching along at Sonoma with us, Kirtley dominated the entire feature event until he ran out of fuel on the final turn, which opened up the door for JP DeFino to roll himself into the win. And DeFino sitting 5th while only being in 2 races. He's qualified from Futures twice. So a solid run there for the 845. Top
Absolutely.
5 in the standings. Let's take a look at our first heat as qualifying has come to a conclusion. Kieren Liflander in the 20 will start at the front. No surprises there. Robbie Kirtley will be right behind him, followed by Joey Morissette in the 85, Eric Caplinger in the 277, and Austin Derbyshire in the 64, rounding out your field. As you know, definitely a bounce-back week is needed for Morissette, who unfortunately had issues last week getting spun around at Indianapolis. So Definitely looking for a solid run here tonight, although he's got some heavy hitters to go up against.
Absolutely.
As the green lights drop, the lights race at Charlotte is underway. 3 wide into turn 1 as per usual. Liflander takes a very aggressive line that he somehow makes stick, and he will now be in the lead, although Kirtley's not letting him have it easy.
Yeah, Kirtley right there on him. I'm surprised how close Kirtley was able to hold him through turn 1 there, as Liflander running way wide there, but it should help as he's going to have contact with Kirtley.
Almost contact between
there was
the two.
Contact.
Squirrely over the jump.
Oh my goodness, that could have been way, way bad for both of those guys. Could have ended Liflander's heat hopes right then and there.
These are 2 of the best rallycross drivers in the world, and they were able to save it coming off the jump. As, Caplinger almost gets run off the road there by Joey Morissette. Didn't give him much room there.
Side and Derbyshire right there trying to capitalize on that battle, but unfortunately nothing he could do. Is we see Caplinger go for the choker on lap 1, get him some fresh air on the nose of that car.
It's worth noting, due to time constraints, Caplinger was the only one from our Futures event to come over to lights here tonight. We have a 9-car field in the race.
Should only be 2 heats, I do believe. So
there's only 2 heats and 1 semifinal
yeah.
for all the marbles.
Changes
as
the
Liflander,
a lot.
Absolutely, Liflander is unsurprisingly pulling away. Kirtley trying to reel Liflander in to the best of his ability. Morissette as well, trying to see if he can catch any one of these 2 in a mistake. Usually mistakes from those 2 drivers are far and few between.
We're going to go ahead and jump on board here with Kieren for a lap. Didn't get to do it earlier. I really wanted to see what he's doing differently, as you see just how smooth he is and how much he's maximizing every inch of the track here.
The kid out of South Carolina, it seems very, very composed and disciplined out on track. He probably is the best rallycross driver in the world. I don't think anyone does it better than him, and he just knows exactly where that car needs to be pointed, how exactly he needs to get the car around a corner. It is something special to watch Kieren Liflander.
Absolutely, and watching that corner right there, I mentioned it in qualifying. He's the only one running it extremely wide in the carousel there, and he's finding the grip on the outside that nobody else has been able to find, and that is impressive to me, that he's been able to experiment with the line enough to find something that works for him better than everybody else.
Liflander pulling away. Kirtley, a solid gap between him and the 85 of Morissette, who ran into trouble, I think, while we were on board. Morissette is in pit road.
And we're going to go ahead and see
trouble once again for the 85 JC Sim Sport car.
Yeah, we're going to see what happened here to him.
Be watching along, Joey Morissette, the purple and green car on your screen right there. Looks like he's going to go a little wide, maybe some contact with Caplinger.
Yep, just got
Indeed.
Around, and that's going to end his day, or end his heat. He's going to have to go through the LCQ from the looks of it, unfortunately for him.
Now back through the semi-final once again for the 85, who's had a string of bad luck throughout the first couple of races here. Definitely looking to turn it around. Hopefully we'll have a good run here in the semi-final to get himself into the feature.
I'll tell you who also is having a really good run here is your leader here, and he's going to come across here in just a second.
Liflander coming around the final turn, and he will easily take heat number 1, sliding across the finish line in style. Robbie Kirtley will also be making the feature race tonight. Joey Morissette, Eric Caplinger, and
gonna be close for third. Not at all. Wow. I think that
Derbyshire comes across the line very comfortably. Derbyshire, Caplinger, and Morissette will have to go through the semi-final.
Seems like
as we head on to heat number 2. Heat number 2, Bryan Sawyer, your points leader, starts on the front with Devin Hughes, Dan Carritto, and Josh Mertz. Josh Mertz, a surprisingly poor qualifying performance, down all the way in the 9th position.
Yeah, this is
definitely something
uncharacteristic for him.
Agreed, very uncharacteristic, but I'm sure the driver out of Illinois will be very capable.
So I have to correct
all-
you there. It's Indiana.
Indiana. Now, I knew it as soon as I said it. Green flag is out. We are racing here for heat number 2. 3 wide here, though a great jump on the outside there by the 320 of Dan Carrito.
So we're going to block that runoff, though. That was a really good move by
Sawyer
him.
blocking, and if you guys have been watching along for the season, Carrito and Hughes are in a heat race once again. These two have had a history and have gotten together a couple of times this season. You know they're not going to give each other any breaks as Hughes down to the inside, side by side over the jump for the transfer spot.
Very clean so far between these two. No hip checks given yet, as he's going to go ahead. Devin Hughes is going to be able to get up into second place for the time being. Mertz trying to find a way by both of these guys right now, but nothing doing for the 2-car back there.
And Carrito getting a little bit wide there. That might open the door for the 2-car Mertz, who's going to tap the inside wall just slightly. And that should likely kill a little bit of his momentum there. Carrito will joker this time by Sawyer, now riding out in front. Your points leader looking to extend his points lead. Knows Liflander is coming for him. He just has to put together the best performances possible to try to maintain. There in the 60, running second, currently in the transfer position, has been able to clear himself quite a ways from Mertz, although he will still have to joker, so we'll see where he'll come out in terms of Dan Carrito, who already took his joker.
Mertz way wide there. He's going to try the Kieren Liflander line. I was about to mention it. See if anyone's going to try that. And it looks
He'll
like
duck
Josh
down
is
to
the
take his
first guy.
joker.
He's going to be the first guy to start trying that, so we'll see if that works out for him.
Yeah, so far we have the Liflander line and we have the Robichaux line of taking it as far to the inside as humanly possible and fully throttling it into the first of those 2 dirt S's there.
Yeah.
As Bryan Sawyer sets fastest lap of the race so far.
No contest.
Oh, and the 60 of Hughes has gone around. 60 of Hughes beached on the inside of the turn. Thankfully, Carrito and Mertz will get around. They are now side by side
for that transfer
spot. Carrito gets down to the inside and will take the spot from Mertz.
We're going to go ahead and see what happened here to Devin Hughes here.
I was watching along with him. Unfortunately, it looked like he just kind of tapped the inside wall just slightly, and the car got hooked on the wall and went around.
That's all it takes sometimes. These cars super sensitive on the dirt, as you saw there for Devin Hughes.
And that will very likely send Hughes on to the semifinal.
That is, unless these two get together.
Now, Mertz has a very important job here. Morissette is already heading to the semifinal as well. So if Mertz can't get past Carrito here, that will send all 3 JC SimSport cars into that race. And you know Josh doesn't want that. He wants to be able to give both of his drivers a chance to make the feature event. 2 laps to go here, and intensity is brewing here for the transfer. As Bryan Sawyer takes the white flag this time by, 1 more lap to go in the heat. He is checked well and away. Carrito pulling away from Mertz here.
Yeah, Mertz made a mistake right there in that final corner, hit the sleeping policeman, but doing a really good job here. Good line, almost contact.
Fantastic line right there from the 2 of Mertz. He is closing in on Dan Carrito. The pressure is on. See Mertz dives down to the inside, trying to get a nose peeking under that 320.
Oh, here he
Can't
comes.
quite
Little
there.
contact.
Little contact there between the 2. Mertz going to try to get around the corner and see if he has anything for him. Mertz right behind. He takes an aggressive line in. Bryan Sawyer will cross the line and win heat number 2. Dan Carrito will advance to the feature as well, and all 3 JC SimSport cars will be stuck in the semifinal.
Yeah, that is devastating for the JC SimSport squad right there.
That means guaranteed at least 1 of their cars are going to go home tonight. Let's take a look at our grid for our semifinal. Austin Derbyshire starting at the front. Josh Mertz behind him. Eric Caplinger, Devin Hughes, and Joey Morissette round out your field here. And a nightmare scenario for the JC SimSport cars. They hopefully are going to be able to put 2 into the field, although there is a realistic shot that all three of them could end up going home.
Absolutely possible there. You have Derbyshire and Caplinger. Those guys are no slouches at all.
All 5 cars are on the grid. We wait for the lights to go green. Green flag goes. We're racing here in our semifinal. Caplinger, a great start on the outside. Mertz in the middle looking to make something happen. Derbyshire on the inside. Forces him out a little bit. Here comes the 60 of Hughes all the way from the back, lunging forward.
And just like we mentioned there, it's Derbyshire and Caplinger out front right now. 1-2, they're in the transfer spots. Caplinger getting heated
gives a
up.
bumper to this 277 to Caplinger. We may be 3 wide going into this turn.
Oh
as
my
Mertz
goodness.
makes it stick on the inside.
So far, so good for Aaron Caplinger and Austin Derbyshire, but don't count out those JC Simsport cars at all right now.
You gotta wonder, Victor, with 3 of them all vying for positions to make the feature here, you gotta wonder if team orders are gonna come into play at all, as meanwhile the 277 to Caplinger ducks the inside.
Oh, and Derbyshire made a mistake, and Mertz is gonna get him
a mistake in the Joker. Mertz gets around.
Wow, what a
Hughes
move.
looking to capitalize as well.
What a move, Josh Mertz. Caught him by surprise. That might have been the move to get himself into the transfer position right there.
Morissette now sits in provisional second. He still needs to Joker, however.
Oh, he hit the curb right there. That's not going to be good for him.
Not at all. As I think Caplinger might have hit the inside wall just a little bit there. I heard a little bit of noise coming from him. 277.
Keeping it nice and tidy.
And unfortunate for that 64 at Derbyshire, had the lead going into that there. Ducked down to the Joker to get away from Caplinger. Unfortunately made a mistake down there. It looks like it's going to cost him a chance at the feature tonight.
As we see Caplinger take his Joker coming right out in front of Josh Mertz there.
Yeah, Mertz is right there on the bumper of the 277. Morissette provisionally leads, although he still has strategy to take here with 2 laps to go.
Team orders might be coming into play here. I wonder what Morissette does here. Does he just sit out front until the final lap and see if he can hold Caplinger back a little bit, give Josh a little bit better chance, or does he go for his own Joker here and see what's going on?
You gotta wonder if they're thinking about a way that they can try to get Mertz and Hughes in here. Hughes,
exactly.
That blue and kind of brownish car behind there in the 60, looking to try to make a run here.
Yeah, Morissette's gonna wait another lap here. Caplinger kind of closing in a little bit in that dirty air of the 85 in front of him there.
2 laps to go this time by. He's gonna continue to sit out in front in the wavelengths of Caplinger, try to hold him up to give Josh Mertz a better shot at winning this feature, or semifinal, excuse me. I just went through the whole ring of races that we run.
Yeah, we got the whole schedule right there, don't we?
Absolutely.
See, I think that was Derbyshire back there, having a little bit of a moment back there, but back here, Mertz still right there on the back bumper of Caplinger.
Let's see, will the 85 of Morissette Joker here? He
does.
Will. So Morissette ducks out of the way, and that will leave a battle for Caplinger, Mertz, and Hughes to decide who gets to race in the feature. Final lap, this time by.
Ooh, Caplinger a little bit wide there.
Mertz just hoping here for a mistake that could put both of his cars into the feature event. He's still going to be hounding here for the win, or do you think he'd be content to just get in?
I think he's going to be going for that extra point here if he can. He wants that extra point. He's in that championship battle. He needs that extra point.
Every single point will matter at the end of the season. Mertz trying everything he can. He's going to get into the inside wall a little bit, and that might hurt his shot there.
I think that just sealed the deal for Caplinger. He's going to be able to take this thing home.
Coming out of the final turn, Eric Caplinger will get to race in the feature race in futures and in the feature race of lights as well. He will move on in the semifinal. Josh Mertz will be moving on as well. Devin Hughes, Austin Derbyshire, and Joey Morissette, unfortunately, will be heading home.
What a LCQ we just saw there.
Very intense indeed. A great battle we saw from some of the top drivers in this series, in all of Rallycross for that matter. And as our drivers take our warm-up, we'll take a second to warm up as well. Stay tuned for more action and our feature race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
So interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Absolutely be doing what he has to do. He has to go for the championship. He has to recover the points that he lost. He's down the race, takes the lead in the 12. What a move. And he takes the lead and holds
Side by
it.
side between these two in the turn one. This is going to get spicy.
Turn one, over the jump to begin the first lap, clogging the inside line. McFarland contact between them. They are still side by side. This opens the door for Wetz. He can't make anything happen. Over in the 26, he has not won in quite some time. Dragster acing the entry to turn one, up heading to the inside of Magnus, gives him a nudge. Grip strip on the inside, Phil. Wetz had a little bit better run, but looks like Robbie's going with his power.
Welcome back, everyone, to Charlotte, North Carolina at Charlotte Motor Speedway as we get ready for the NASA Rallycross Lights, week number 4. feature event. We just saw quite an eventful heat race that saw multiple of the JC Simsport cars going home, which is quite big implications for the team standings. And our drivers currently are in their warm-up. They're finishing that up. So as they do, we'll go through our sponsor plugs quick here. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World Feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the ASN network, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything, and also hit the bell so you're notified of all of our future broadcasts. We broadcast live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, along with shorts courtesy of Jess Rakowski as well. If your league's looking to be broadcasted, feel free to check us out at asnTVUSA.com to see what we can do to help your league get more exposure. With that, we'll go through our programming notes as well, so you can check out our upcoming schedule here on the Automotive Sports Network. NASA Rallycross Contenders comes to you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern at Charlotte. You'll have Justin Robichaux and Bryan Sawyer in the booth for that one. I will be out on the racetrack and hopefully won't be as bad as I was at Indianapolis. NASA Rallycross Supercars will be running this weekend at Charlotte. It's 4th race of the season. You'll have Josh Mertz and Bryan Sawyer in the booth for that one. That is at 2 p.m. Eastern. NASA Rallycross Futures and Lights, the doubleheader, Week 5 at Atlanta, will be Victor and myself in the booth once again at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern respectively. And the Torque Sports Car Series, formerly the OSRL GT3 Series, returns for its 6th season of action. Round 1 will be at Daytona on October 3rd. That's a Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Victor Vallee in the booth for that one. We are just finishing up our warm-ups here. Kieren Liflander, of course, still continues to be quickest. A 43.426 with a 44.064 from Bryan Sawyer. So not an astronomical gap between the two. He's actually seemingly decently quick, keeping up with him, our points leader.
I was noticing something what Bryan was doing here, and we kind of see it here a little bit, and you're seeing Dan Carrito do it now a little bit too. They're running that outside line that Kieren was earlier, and it seems like they're finally picking up on that, and that's kind of closing the gap up a little bit to these guys, to Kieren right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The Sawyer gives Carrito a big pump into turn number 1 there.
Yeah, 0.6 of a second separate Liflander and Sawyer. 0.6 of a second separate the rest of the field from Sawyer all the way down to Mertz in 6th. So certainly very close times for everybody else. Actually, I might have been mistaken. That was a 45.6, not a 44.6. It's actually a 1.5 seconds between the top and back of the field.
I don't think he's done too terribly many laps, Mertz, so we'll see what this lap is and see if it's a little bit more indicative of the pace that car may have. But with that said, though, looking at those cars, you know, you got your JC Simsport cars, only one in the field, as we mentioned earlier, and we have 2 move over at Speedy Time cars in the featured race here, and go ahead and throw up that constructor points here. And as you can see, move over at Speedy Time, going to extend that gap 20 points outwards on JC Simsport with only 1 car in the feature tonight.
And move over at Speed Time, we'll have 2 cars in the feature here. One will represent Saints and Sinners, and one will represent Kieren Liflander Racing. Of course, well, we probably can guess who that is. So a varied field in terms of teams. Really nobody with 2 cars outside of the move over at Speedy Time cars.
Yeah, and I remember talking to Bryan at the beginning of the year about that, and he said, well, we're not really going for constructors in lights. We might be going for it in futures, but not really lights, since it's normally just me. But right now, it looks like move over at Speedy Time putting down the gauntlet in constructors points here as we wrap up.
And they have had 2 cars in almost every single race, because either Caplinger or Tom Grady have advanced from futures up into lights, which has given them that cushion. And it also helps when you are the points leader.
Certainly does.
As let's take a look at our starting grid for tonight's feature event. Kieren Liflander will start on the front position. Sawyer and Kirtley will start alongside him in the front row. Dan Corritto, Eric Caplinger, and Josh Mertz will be starting in the rows behind them. As we now await all of the cars to grid up here.
Just waiting
like
on Kirtley and Corritto right now.
And, we would do pre-race picks, but I think we both know who we would both pick.
Yeah.
Kieren Liflander seems to be the obvious choice here, but, well, you never know. Anything can happen, as we saw last week in Indianapolis.
Certainly so, and I would definitely keep my eye on Robbie Kirtley to make some noise here on the start. He definitely took the fight to Liflander on the start before, and we're waiting for him. I think he's just making sure he has enough fuel in that car for the feature tonight.
Yes, does not want a repeat of his race at Sonoma where he was leading and ran out of fuel into the final corner. All cars are on the grid. We await the green lights. Green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Charlotte. A horrible start there for Kirtley. Looks like he might have spun the tires a little bit or got a late jump. And that will allow the 20 of Liflander to get out in front and likely pull away.
Yeah, commentators curse on Kirtley there. I am so sorry to him if he watches this back. I do apologize for that, but it looks like it's Liflander and Sawyer battling up front. Here comes Josh Mertz going for a podium from last place on the grid.
Mertz side by side with Dan Corritto, going to let him have it for now. It's a 10-lap race, so quite a bit of ways. And do remember, as Eric Dubois learned, you do need to take 2 jokers in this event, so lots of strategy to be had.
And we see this battle going on. Corritto
contact between the two again. If you remember from last week, they made contact as well. That opens up the door for Caplinger in the 277 again to slide up, and he's going to be looking at a podium position.
Yeah, and we have 3 guys take the Joker. Mertz trying to make it work again. The Joker can't get it done there, but oh my goodness. Insanely aggressive is Mertz in that Joker.
Mertz wants that podium position for his team. He's the only representative here. He wants to get max points as possible, and he is definitely working for it here on the back of that 320 of Dan Corritto. So far, great run as well for the 88 of Bryan Sawyer, doing exactly what he needs to do. Trying his best to keep up with Liflander, but running a great race as the points leader. Well, that's about as good as you can have it.
Absolutely. It seems like a Max Verstappen, Lando Norris kind of deal going on there for those two right now, because Bryan knows he's not as quick as Liflander, but he's just got to stop the bleeding as we have this battle still going on, as it looks like Mertz is going to go ahead and take his second Joker right there. Caplinger taking his first, going to come out side by side with Corritto here.
And they're going to make a little bit of contact there as well, but Caplinger is going to be able to keep the car straight and keep it rolling right past Corritto. Mertz is done with his strategy for the race. He's now going to have to await the other 3 cars in front of him here to see who's going to be able to go for it as well. Sawyer has also jokered. And still no strategy yet for Liflander, although, well,
Kirtley
checked out anyways. Kirtley and Corritto rubbing doors.
Oh, he's going to give him a
bumper.
bumper.
Numbers. Corritto goes wide a little bit. Kirtley looking to the inside again. They touch once more. Lots of contact between those two as Corritto dips down for his Joker. Smart move there from the 320. He was getting his bumper beat off.
He certainly was, and that's going to release Kirtley a little bit here. Mertz going to get out handily ahead of Corritto here now. So put Mertz up there into that provisional podium position, depending on how this all goes down here.
With that as well, Sawyer is done with his strategy as well. He is still out in front of his teammate, Eric Caplinger, in the 277.
You see him right there.
Barring any mistakes, looking at a solid second-place finish here tonight.
Yeah, there's that Liflander line I was talking about, way out there wide, getting a little bit more grip where the pavement's, the dirts are a little bit less, and a little bit more pavement shining through.
Absolutely. It looks like the
024.
Looks like that was Caplinger there, the 277, taking his second Joker of the race.
No, actually, I think that was the 024 Kirtley taking his second Joker.
Excuse me, yes, that was the 024 Kirtley taking his second Joker.
So again, Mertz
he will now slide in behind Mertz again. So Mertz, with that clean air in the back, is proving beneficial. We'll now have to see what happens with Caplinger's Joker to see if Mertz is going to get a podium here tonight.
Looking at that gap, it should be possible for Mertz to get this podium here. Kind of slowly but surely closing in on
Look at that line by
Caplinger.
Kirtley in the 024.
Way wide. He's going to take it way wide, do that Liflander line as well.
Well, so that looked pretty solid there for Kirtley. He is kind of reeling Mertz in with that line he just took right there. Caplinger's Joker occurs, and he goes right in between the two.
Wow.
Mertz on the podium now. That was probably worst case there for Kirtley, who looked like he had Mertz drawn by the hand there. The Caplinger slid right in front of him.
Yeah, now we got a three-way battle for the podium. Bryan, Sawyer, Liflander, they're
Caplinger
gone.
not giving him much room on the inside there.
Yeah, no. And he's going to hit the wall. He's going to bounce off. And he's going to hang it together for now.
A deep line in there for Kirtley. That has opened up the door for Dan Corritto in the 320 as well, lurking right behind that orange car.
And this is great for Josh Mertz. Josh is loving this. He's gone. He's just going to go try to go catch Bryan, which I don't think he has enough time to do. But with that said, he's going to go do his hardest to do that.
Fantastic battle brewing here for the 4th position. You're not missing much up front. Bryan Sawyer is checked far out from Josh Mertz, and Kieren Liflander, of course, is miles ahead in the lead as well. So this is the most exciting battle on the racetrack as we see it.
Ooh, Kirtley kind of
down to the inside. They'll make contact.
How'd he hang on to that? No!
And oh, they're gonna make contact.
3 wide and
3 wide and around goes Dan Corritto and Robbie Kirtley.
Oh man, what a shame for those two. They were right there, and it just seems like
hard racing occurring in the back, and it got a little too rough and tumble. As unfortunately 3 wide, and that dirt corner is borderline impossible.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at what happened here. Kirtley kind of sends some decent door to Caplinger. Caplinger a little bit out wide and just nowhere to go for Corritto or Kirtley or Caplinger, and just got himself all bottled up.
All of them were just playing bumper cars right there.
Absolutely.
As 2 laps to go, this time by for Kieren Liflander.
So we're on the blimp cam, and I just showed you the gap right there. Bryan right there at the line, and I think Kieren's in the infield section basically. Yeah, there he is.
Now, did I catch that correctly? Was that Bryan Sawyer in the Joker for a 3rd time?
No, that was not him in the Joker. He was on the regular path, I do believe.
I thought I saw him there on the inside. That looked interesting because I know he had Jokered twice already. I know because he looked like he did the cross over the main part of the track there. I'm not sure if he had a mental error and took
I
a
don't
3rd
think
one there.
so, because his last lap was a 1:05, 1:49. That's about the same time he was running before. It was 10 faster than Mertz, so I don't think he was Jokering there.
That's good. Maybe my eyes are playing little tricks on me. In fact, they probably were. Meanwhile,
The gap isn't
Liflander
playing any tricks though.
out in front. Absolutely not. He is checked far out, essentially. Final lap here for Kieren Liflander, who has had a fantastic race. No battles really on track brewing at the moment. Everyone has settled themselves out. Out of the dirt and coming into the last couple of turns here, a once again dominant performance for Kieren Liflander, the kid from South Carolina, will win his 2nd race of the season here at Charlotte. Bryan Sawyer, your points leader, does exactly what he needs to do. He will run the last couple of turns and come up with a podium for himself. A great run for the 88. And Josh Mertz starts from the back, gets in on the semifinal, and he will find himself on the podium as well here tonight in 3rd.
Caplinger 4th, Kirtley gonna bring it home 5th, just over Dan Corritto there after mayhem struck for both of those guys.
An eventful battle there for 4th was the highlight of the event. A big incident there between the 3 cars there. Caplinger, the 320 Corritto, and the 024 Kirtley leading to that. But Liflander, once again, has a dominant performance. This is kind of Liflander style. And boy, he's going to be tough to beat this season, except for last week when he had that DQ. But boy, did he recover nicely.
Yeah, we found out last week he was human, but this week back to that alien that we remember him as. So Kieren Liflander getting it done tonight, and that will definitely bring him a little bit closer to Bryan Sawyer in that points battle.
With that, let's see if we have any interviews. We have a couple of drivers here in the media pen. Let's see who we want to bring up first. It looks like we have our third place finisher, Josh Mertz, here in the media pen. We'll see if we can bring him up. Josh, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
I got you guys. How you doing?
We are good up here. An eventful race here in Lights. Solid run for you once again. Another podium finish, another third. Especially coming from the semifinal for you, a fantastic run. Just take me through your night as a whole, coming through that last chance qualifier.
I had probably 2 laps of practice during the week, and I ran lap times and saw myself in 9th quickest, and I fully accepted that I was coming home in last. So I just told Kieren, I don't know if he heard me in the media pen, I said, I don't deserve to be here. This feels like a win. I feel like $1 million. I hate this track, so to finish third is great.
Absolutely, a great run for you, although I must ask as well, with JC Simsport having 3 cars in the semifinal, I'm sure that obviously wasn't the intention, but what was going through your head there, as kind of a team principal over there of team strategy that you guys had to go through, knowing that at least one of your cars was going to end up going home?
So back in the day, I used to do team orders and be selfish, and everyone revolves around me. But now, like, I let Devin do his thing, I let Joey do his thing. Whoever's quickest deserves it. So I mean, in the instance that was going to happen, I wasn't going to have anybody move over. Like I said, I qualified 8th. I didn't deserve to be in this feature. So yeah, no team orders anymore. Unless I was in like a title fight, then I would maybe think about it. But right now we're just here for fun.
Absolutely. It certainly is a lot of fun here tonight. You have any questions here for our third place finisher, Victor?
Honestly, yeah. It seemed like, as you said, it was a struggle all night. Where did you end up just finding the pace there at the end and just kind of just salvaging a good result? As I say, talk me through that part of it.
So I was trying to use Kieran's line in the dirt hairpin, and that wasn't working. You need to practice that through the week to figure that one out. And I could never figure out turns 1 and 2 here, but I looked at Kieran's lap in one of the heat races, or his quali lap, figured out where to brake and turn in, and then it just clicked. I mean, I didn't have all the speed that I've had here before, but certainly by figuring out turns 1 and 2, it gave me the confidence to run my normal line closer to the walls, because you hit a wall and you get in that mental state of, well, the wall's going to beat me every single time. So I overcame that, and yeah, man, like I said, it just feels good to finish third, because I didn't deserve that feature at all.
With that, Josh, anyone you'd like to thank here tonight for your performance?
Well, I want to thank my wonderful wife, Chloe, who's sitting next to me and puts up with me yelling and screaming when it's either commentating or racing or race control or whatever. I want to thank in-laws, AJ and Angie, friends, Ryan, Kevin, Stevie, and Nick as well. The admin team of NASA, leadership team of both NASA and ASN, and the Woodridge Wolfpack 98H. And this, yeah, I didn't even remember who to thank. I'm dumbfounded that I'm even here, to be honest.
Well, certainly a performance to be proud of, Josh. You get to come home with a bronze medal. Soak that in, and we hope to see you next week at Atlanta.
Excellent. Thanks, boys.
Thank you. That was our third place finisher, Josh Mertz. Solid run for him here tonight. As let's bring up our second place finisher and current points leader, Bryan Sawyer, up to the ASM booth. Bryan, this is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
Howdy. How y'all doing?
We're doing well up here. Quite an eventful race we just got to witness. Coming in as the points leader, a probably perfect race for you, getting to come home in second, especially with Kieren Liflander in the race. I don't think it could have gone much better for you. Just take me through your strategy here for the night, knowing Kieren was going to be here, knowing that you were holding on to the points lead, and what you had to do coming into the night.
I mean, once I got here and I saw the times and I saw it was very few laps put down on the track and Kieren was dropping a 42.8, I figured, okay, well, he's just going to win the night. But aside from that, I mean, was a pretty quiet night for me, at least. I mean, the heat, I was gone by the jump. Same with the feature. I was gone by the jump. There was a 4-second gap to me. It was basically 2 time trials, a 5 and a 10 lapper. So just pretty much ran my strategy. Saw nothing really interesting happen. Pretty quiet night at Charlotte.
And of course, looking in the bigger picture, you have quite an uphill battle here for maintaining your points lead. Probably did a very good job of it tonight. Going to have second place, about as good as you could do. What do you think you're going to have to do in the upcoming races, upcoming events here, to hold on to that points lead over Liflander?
Wait for it to slip from my fingers. Unless Kieren gets in some incidents at the starts of some races or misses something. I feel like the only next shot I have at a win is maybe at Crandon. So that's all I'm thinking right now. That's going to be my next strong track. I mean, the rest of the season is okay, but this definite first half are my stronger tracks. So a win and then a P2 2 weeks in a row is pretty dope.
Absolutely, that's a great streak for you. Any questions for our second place finisher, Victor?
Yeah, I did notice this in qualifying and in the race for Kieren, of course, and Josh kind of mentioned it too, that he started trying the line in that and out of the carousel being on the way far outside. And I noticed you started trying it as well. Did you see any kind of benefit in that, or was it just something that you were just trying and yeah?
No,
that's what I was thinking.
I've run it before. I've never been faster there. I prefer the inside line, but I know he runs the outside line, and I mean, I've run both before, and I've never really seen a difference. I ran both tonight. I never really saw a difference, so I just kind of alternated between a couple of them just to see what was going on. I know if you got somebody on your inside, like taking the outside is beneficial. You get like a little bit of a run there, but I feel like the setup is a little slower than just maintaining the inside line. But what do I know? I finished 10 seconds behind the leader who exclusively did it. So, yeah, I didn't really have any battles to test that out on tonight. So we'll maybe see in the future. Try it again.
And anyone you'd like to thank for your second place finish here tonight, Bryan?
We're going to thank my wife, Eric's mom, Tom's mom, my mom, my whole teammates, or Eric and Tom, my teammates, you guys in the booth here. Everybody raises here. Wish we had a couple more people in 6 cars tonight, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll get some more people moved up next season.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Bryan. We'll look forward to seeing you next week at Atlanta.
Good night, guys.
You as well. That was our second place finisher, Bryan Sawyer. And with that, let's bring up our race winner for the night, Kieren Liflander, up to the ASM booth. How's it going, Kieren? This is Ethan and Victor in the ASM booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
A commanding performance once again for you. Another win, your second of the season. Take me through what it meant to win tonight after, especially what happened last week at Indianapolis, how it feels to get that monkey off your chest.
Yeah, hard work, again, by KLR. It's, like I said at Indianapolis last night, week in, week out, just... It's unbelievable. I mean, there's literally no words to describe it. The work that everybody puts in. But yeah, I already knew we were going to be fast here. I hold the all-time world records here, in officials, and I knew that I'm either going to win this or I don't even know. But yeah, it took a lot to get this win. Obviously, I hit 43.1 in qualifying, 42-second laps in practice. Only one to do it tonight, so feels good. A lot of help from Austin, and obviously Matt Belton isn't going to be attending the season, which is a bummer. But yeah, he's still helping around here and there with tunes and whatnot. But yeah, made a last-minute adjustment for the feature and made me stay more snug than I intended it to be, in which that helps. So yeah, I was able to stay consistent, and I don't think I hit a 44-second lap this whole race, so that was cool too.
Consistency is absolutely key there, and also take me through that line that you run on the exit of the last dirt corner there. I know everyone usually likes running the inside. You famously have been running the outside there, which seemingly no one else has really been able to master. I mean, how much more speed do you think you usually get out of that line, and what kind of made you think about that line working in a race?
It goes way back to 2024 season 2. Joey Lingron, he's a world champion in dirt oval, came aboard on whenever I was at Zeems a couple seasons ago, and we were working on a line, and he asked me, what if I tried a slider line there? So, and I ended up trying it. I was around 43.8s at the time and got down to 43.4s, and I was pretty surprised, and I ended up adjusting the set, so when you throw it in there, you can kind of just let it roll center and let the car do its thing. And yeah, now we're here 2 seasons later. Like you said, I believe I've mastered it. I think I went off track lap 9, like barely. I think my left sides went off track just a bit. But yeah, I'm surprised nobody else was running it. I spoke to Mertz in the pre-race for driver introductions and was talking to him about, if anybody runs the same line that I'm running in that high line and you're behind me, it's not going to be as good because there's dirty air and there's dirt coming onto your car. So you don't know when I'm going to be able to get back on the throttle. And when I get back on the throttle, it's going to affect you because you got all that dirty air being pushed on your car, and it's not going to perform as good as mine and the cleaner. So I saw Sawyer run it lap 1 and then immediately went back to the bottom, and I just ended up pulling away. So, but in terms of how much faster it is than the low line, I'd definitely say 0.3 to half a second faster, depending how you hit it. And that showed this race with, I think Bryan hit a 44.8, 44.7, something along those lines, and the fastest lap for me was a 5.88, 5.89, whatever it was. And yeah, again, it's the tune that helps a lot, but also experience. So I think me having the experience I have now, it definitely came out tonight and showed out.
Definitely. It seemed that you were the only one to run that line tonight. No one else was able to really figure it out. So it's nice to have a nice trick up your sleeve like that. It really gives you that extra way to go. Victor, you have any questions for our race winner here tonight?
Unfortunately not, Ethan, because you kind of stole my question on the line thing there. But yeah, no, it's kind of back to the Kieren Liflander podcast up here. So you have anyone to thank for the result tonight?
Yeah, again, everybody at KLR, like in the beginning, just every time I show up, that's all thanks to them. I mean, can't do without them. Really happy to make that 1 win sticker to 2, and obviously we had a little bit of a oops last week on my part, which it's gonna sting towards the end of the season because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to try to clinch this championship and get in the bag. Hopefully, it's not a repeat of last season where I ended up getting disqualified at Knock Hill and I didn't attend week 1. So it's looking like that right now, but got to keep our heads up and stay focused. Atlanta Shore is another fast track, and we went back-to-back in the Supercars and Lights last season there. So hoping to do the same thing, and obviously we're going to stay in Charlotte this whole week and get the Supercar prepped, and we're looking good on that too. So can't wait to duel it out with Evan, and I know we're both fast there, so we're fast here. So yeah, and yeah, thank you guys. I haven't done that recently in my interviews. Thank you guys for throwing this up. It's definitely, I've definitely been able to get myself out there in terms of who I am, because not many people really know, and I'm trying to turn this into real life. So with the combination of everybody at KLR and you guys doing this, it means a lot, and really thankful for it.
We appreciate that, Kieren. We hope to see you next week at Atlanta, and best of luck as well in your Supercars quest here at Charlotte on Saturday.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. That was our race winner, Kieren Liflander. And with that, that's it for our driver interview. So we'll kind of start housekeeping here, get everything wrapped up for us. So real quick, let's go through our sponsor plugs. Cameras all season on ASN are brought to you by Whiplash SimCams. Be sure to check them out at facebook.com/WSimCams. Thank you, Andrew Cardinal IV, for your continued camera support. The intro music for the NASA World feed was produced by Alex Abetti. If you like what you see here on the Automo Sports Network, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing from us. Make sure to hit the bell to be notified of every time that we are live streaming. We're usually live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. We also produce a bevy of shorts courtesy of Jess Rakowski as well. We'll take a look at our upcoming schedule as well. We have our NASA Rallycross contenders here at Charlotte tomorrow night. That's Monday, September 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Justin Robichaux and Bryan Sawyer in the booth for that one. NASA Rallycross Supercars, the bread and butter of the NASA Rallycross series. Round 4 here at Charlotte with Evan McFarland and Kieren Liflander dueling it out. That'll be this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern. You'll have Josh Mertz and Bryan Sawyer in the booth for that one. Me and Victor will be right back with you here next week for Futures and Lights at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern respectively for Week 5 at Atlanta. And the Torque Sports Car Series, previously the OSRL GT3 Series, will be kicking off its 6th season of competition. Round 1 at Daytona will be coming to you this October 3rd at 8:30 Eastern. That is a Thursday evening with Josh Mertz and Victor Vallee in the booth. Well, with that, Victor, as we kind of wrap up the evening, I'll get your final thoughts on the night. Quite a chaotic race we saw both in Futures and in Lights. What are your final thoughts? What do you have to react to?
I mean, as I said in the interview with Kieren there, it's back to the Kieren Liflander podcast we got going on here every week. But, yeah, no, it's interesting and very intriguing to watch Bryan Sawyer and Josh Mertz battle here for the second place in the championship. Seems like Bryan had the better end on Josh tonight, but so that could always change next week at Atlanta and into the future there, of course. So don't count Josh out just yet for second place in points. And, of course, Kieren Liflander moving his way up through the points nicely here. Got to give him credit as well.
He missed a race as per his drop week. He was able to do that. The disqualification at Indy is going to make it difficult to get himself back in this, but if anyone in this series is going to be able to do that is the man who holds records at a lot of tracks on iRacing, one of the best rallycross racers in the world, in Kieren Liflander. And with that, we will wrap up the stream here. The checkered flag has fallen on the evening. From all of us at the Automotive Sports Network, from Jess Rakowski, Justin Robichaux, Cody Erdman, Josh Mertz, and Victor Vallee, my name is Ethan Halsey. We hope you enjoyed today's coverage of NASA Rallycross Lights and Futures from Indianapolis, from Charlotte. We congratulate our winners, Kieren Liflander in the Lights competition, and in Futures, our winner, Zachary Goddard. And be sure to join us next week at Atlanta. Until then, so long, everyone.